This is the story of a girl who was born into poverty. But despite her harsh circumstances, she eventually performed a mysterious act involving the Jinn, a powerful supernatural beings that changed her life forever. These Jinn became her friends, and suddenly, wealth flowed into her life like a river. Once a girl who would go to bed hungry, she began traveling to the world of the Jinn. Her home overflowed with riches, and she began distributing this wealth among the poor. But what was the secret? What act did she perform that turned the Jinn into her allies? Friends, this is the story of a poor girl named Khadija. She belonged to a very poor family consisting of her widowed mother and her younger siblings. Khadija was the eldest among them, just 19 years old. Her father had passed away, and after his death, their life took a turn for the worse. Hunger became a permanent guest in their home. Seeing their condition, Khadija said to her mother, "Ammi, let me go work in someone's house. Maybe then some happiness might enter our home." But her mother refused and replied, "Khadija, I am already working. The lady of the house has even promised to increase my salary next month. I believe our hardships will ease soon. You stay home and take care of your younger siblings." Khadija obeyed her mother and stayed home to care for her brothers and sisters. But the truth was, things only got worse. Even arranging one meal a day became difficult. Her mother was getting older and often fell ill. She could no longer work as she used to. This made Khadija extremely anxious. Every day she prayed for merely just enough so she and her siblings could eat their fill. But the miracle never seemed to come. No matter how hard her mother worked, it was only enough for one small meal a day. Poverty had already engulfed them, and now her mother's illness added to their suffering. Eventually, she was bedridden. Khadija took great care of her mother, but their food supplies ran out within days. Hunger returned to haunt them. When her little siblings cried for food, Khadija would look at them with teary eyes and gently say, "Be patient, food is on the way. I'll make something soon." She kept comforting them like this, though they continued to ask for food, or because hunger knows no patience. Eventually, Khadija said to her mother, "Ammi, let me take your place at work. Maybe the lady will raise the salary. I'm young, strong, and I can do more work. She might be happy with my efforts." Her mother didn't want to send Khadija out to work, but seeing the dire conditions, she gave in and allowed her to go. Khadija's first day went well. The lady of the house gave her some groceries and a bit of money. Sensing her situation, grateful, Khadija returned home and immediately cooked a good meal for her siblings. For the first time in days, the children ate to their heart's content. Thanks to her job, they finally had enough food, and her mother no longer went hungry. However, her mother's condition didn't improve. She was still too weak to return to work, so Khadija kept going in her place, even though her mother constantly worried for her and asked many questions before she left each day. It had been almost a week since Khadija started working, and that's when, for the first time, she met the master of the house. Until now, only the lady of the house had spoken to her and guided her with the chores. But this day was different. For the first time, she came face to face with the man of the house. He stared at her from head to toe, and something in that look made Khadija's instincts shiver. Broken bar, she immediately gave herself a warning, tightly wrapped her shawl around her entire body, and looked at Sahab, the master, employer, with eyes full of fear. There was still a strange intensity in Sahab's eyes when he looked at Khadija. Though young and naive, Khadija was still a woman, and a woman can always sense the hidden lust in a man's gaze. Khadija had felt something unusual in his stare, and that's why she quickly wrapped herself in her shawl and slipped away to the kitchen. Even there, her breathing was heavy, and she felt anxious. Sahab's eyes were not good, and it was those very eyes that frightened her. When she reached home that evening, her mother noticed something off in her expression and asked, "What's wrong, dear? You look worried today." Khadija paused for a moment, then said, "Amma, today was the first time I saw Sahab, but something felt very strange. He was staring at me in a way that made me very uncomfortable. I got scared, so I went straight to the kitchen." Upon hearing this, Khadija's mother shuddered and said, "That's it, Khadija. From tomorrow, you're not going to work anymore. I'll go instead. That man doesn't have good intentions. He's done this before. Begum Sahiba has fired many maids because of him. I'm older now, and not beautiful either. That's probably why they still let me work. But your youth and beauty have now caught his eye, and he'll keep troubling you. So you're not going back there." Khadija was troubled. Her mother was unwell, and now she told her not to return to work. The next day, Khadija took a day off. Her mother tried to go to work herself but couldn't due to her illness. 2 days later, Begum Sahiba dismissed them altogether, saying, "If you're going to take so many days off, there's no point in keeping you. You don't need to come anymore." This left Khadija and her mother devastated. They didn't know how to survive. Should they beg Begum Sahiba to take them back, or look for another job? But her mother knew that there was no going back. She started looking elsewhere for work, but nothing came up. That very day, Khadija made a decision. She told her mother she wanted to start her own small business as she wanted to sell biryani from a street cart. Her mother was shocked and asked, "How is that possible? How will you manage?" But Khadija had made up her mind. "Amma, I have to do this. I'll run our household by selling biryani," she said. The next day, she borrowed rice from a nearby shop, made biryani, and took a large pot to the city's main market. She stood there, nervously waiting for customers. Her heart pounded. After a short while, her first customer arrived. He looked terribly. His clothes were torn and filthy, and his hair was matted with dust. Khadija felt uneasy at the sight of him, yet there was a strange light in his eyes that made her feel something different. He asked for a plate of biryani, and she quickly served him. He stood there and began to eat. After finishing, he said, "I have no money. I'm very poor. I haven't eaten in 2 days. When I saw your biryani, I couldn't resist. When I get money, I'll repay you. Can you trust me till then?" His words stirred something inside Khadija. She remembered her own hungry days, the times when her family had no food. Without hesitation, she replied, "It's okay. Even if you never pay me back, it doesn't matter." The man looked stunned. He stared at her for a moment, then blessed her and walked away. As soon as he left, Khadija let out a deep breath as she had felt a strange heaviness since his arrival, and now that he was gone, she felt at peace. More customers soon followed. Within hours, her entire pot of biryani was sold, and she made a good profit. She carefully counted the money, kept it safe, and headed home. The sun had set, and the evening prayer call was echoing through the air as she walked. On her way home, she felt like someone was following her. When she turned around, no one was there. She felt anxious and quickened her pace. Soon, she sensed someone walking and stepped beside her. She turned to her right and it was the same man from earlier, the one who had no money. Startled, Khadija said, "I already told you, if you don't have money, it's fine. So why are you following me now?" The man was dressed better now in clean white clothes. He smiled and replied, "I'm not here to return your money. I'm here to make sure you get home safely. I don't know why, but I felt like I should. You're a good girl, kind-hearted. The way you helped me, it touched my heart. You gave food to a hungry man. You made a place in my heart." Khadija responded, "It's nothing special. I had food, so I shared it. Now please go. Don't create any problems for me." He looked at her for a few seconds, then walked away. Khadija thought to herself, who was this man? Why are his eyes so mysterious? Why did he have no money, when he didn't seem like a beggar? With all these questions swirling in her mind, she reached home and shared her day's success with her mother. "Ammi, I sold all the food and made good money," she said happily. Her mother smiled and said, "This is all because of your good intentions. If this business works, I'm sure we'll be out of these troubles soon and living a better life." That night, Khadija cooked a special dinner for her younger siblings, and they all ate together. As she lay on her bed, her thoughts wandered again to the mysterious man and his piercing eyes. Who was he? Why did his gaze feel so strange? Thinking of him, she slowly drifted off to sleep. The next day, Khadija returned to the same spot with her cart. Her eyes were filled with hope and her face glowed with happiness. Not long after, the same young man showed up again. His appearance was still poor, and desperation showed clearly on his face. "I don't have money, a broken bar. Please give me food," he said again. Khadija, feeling pity, gave him a plate of biryani once more. He quickly ate, looked at her with deep gratitude, and left again. Khadija couldn't understand this man. Why did he keep appearing like this? Why did he feel so different? His eyes a broken bar, they still haunted her.